So you do not need a white kitchen, perfect looking kids, or a pioneer aesthetic to make money on YouTube. You can literally live in a trailer with terrible lighting, filming on your iPhone, and I'm not kidding, make 6 or 7 figures from your YouTube channel. I know, because I've taught people to do it in this way. I've seen them do it, and it's less to do with how cool your life is or how much you put your kids online. That's such a farce, and more to do with the niche that you choose, or more specifically, the sub niche. So I did a video a while back called the sticky sub niche. I'll link it up here and down below. Definitely put that in your tabs and watch that next. But it's basically a hack, how to take an oversaturated niche like motherhood or lifestyle and stick it to a high demand, low supply sub niche so your next video actually pops off. And that's what I'm going to share with you guys today, the top 10 viral niches for stay-at-home moms or even working moms that want to bring their kids home. This was the situation I was in 8 years ago. I didn't want to send my firstborn to daycare. I wanted to make money on YouTube. I just didn't know how. And so I'm going to reveal to you guys what niches are popping off almost instantly, and also how to find the niches that are best suitable for your values and your interests. Because I've been one of the moms, and I know women are thinking, I'm just a stay-at-home mom. I have no skills. I chase toddlers all day long. We're barely making it, and I don't have the time, I don't have the energy or talent to do something like YouTube. But take it from me, that is only because you do not know what's possible. But if you guys are new here, my name is Haley, and on this channel, I basically teach content creators how to build their YouTube channels into a real bona fide business by selling their own products so that they can earn more with less of their time. They're not reliant on going viral to pay the bills or grow this business. It's a very freeing life that we're able to live. I have 4 kids and I'm pregnant with baby number 5 and due any day now. So, and I say this in my videos, if I'm wheezing and tired, that is why. I'm barely making it over here, but I'm able to live this type of life where I work 1 day a week. We have 4 part-time employees because we sell our own products on this channel and leverage YouTube instead of being traditional YouTubers like I was on my main channel for the first 5 years of me doing it. So if that interests you and you like that type of business model, subscribe down below, and let's go ahead and get into the first viral niche for moms. So the first viral niche is sort of a new trend that I have found on YouTube by just digging into research. And that is, if you want to go viral really instantly within your niche, you blend parallel niches that complement each other. So the first one is habits, routines, and systems for moms. You probably see a lot of this on Instagram. I follow a lot of big Instagrammers that talk about like laundry routines and systems for large families, right? Because I have almost 5 kids, I want to know, and that's what's in my feed. But specifically on YouTube, things are a little different. So people on YouTube are blending the productivity YouTube niche with motherhood. So most productivity content is built for single dudes, right? But for moms, well, we need systems that work with nursing schedules, nap windows, and emotional meltdowns. So that's why I think this niche is absolutely booming, because it's a novel perspective on something that's been done over and over and over. Typically, motherhood content is like, okay, I film B-roll in my kitchen while I'm making sourdough bread or cleaning my house. But what isn't really done is the psychology behind how to run an efficient household. Moms are starving for actually more talking head videos like these, but in the motherhood niche. So the first one is Dawn, the minimal mom. So if you live under a rock, you won't know who this lady is, but she basically has like nothing in her house. She's got like 1 cup per child. She's a minimalist, but for moms. So Dawn almost went viral. I followed her from the beginning almost immediately because it was just, again, a new take on something that hasn't been done. She's filling a void and sticking herself, motherhood, right? Like the sticky sub niche technique I talked about in the video I referenced. She's sticking herself with a really broad category that's oversaturated like motherhood to something that has a really high demand and low supply for moms in her target market, which is minimalism. So when she started her channel years ago, minimalism was all the thumbnails, I swear, were dudes sitting on their mattress on the floor in their apartment, no kids. So there was just a huge void there, and she blew up almost immediately. So for a recent student, this is Lauren Mefford. Okay, so she has I think PhD in a lot of different things. Don't quote me on that. But she comes at motherhood with more of a psychological, systematic approach, but also using the Bible. So her video that just went viral is 5 biblical habits that finally organized my my life after years of struggle. So we're talking about habits, we're talking about the Bible, and organization. So she's blending a ton of different niches and talking directly to moms. Another one is the notebook that saved this homemaker from infinite scrolling. So she's not filming her life and like how she cleans her house or how she organizes things, which has been done a million times over. She's basically blending the self-help productivity niche, which is typically male dominated or dominated by people that don't have a lot of kids or that aren't mothers. And she's bringing it over to the motherhood niche, which I think is brilliant. And she just got 48,000 views 3 weeks ago. So she's already popping off doing this strategy. So the second example that I have for you guys is homeschooling or home education. So that's a very broad category, but it has a low total addressable market. So it's still pretty niche. So I homeschool my kids with my husband to help me, thankfully, but homeschooling is still not super viral because most people put their kids in some type of school, right? So anybody that starts a homeschooling channel, there's going to be a very high demand for because there's just not a lot of creators in this niche. Therefore, the content is exploding, not because it's trendy, but because moms want a different opinion and they want someone real to guide them. We have a ton of different homeschooling students that really just blew up initially from switching their niche and solidifying to homeschooling. Ashley Bufa, Plan, Prep, Play, Silo, and Sage. They all teach from inside their experience. So even if you're not necessarily homeschooling your kids, educating your child, you can talk about habits, you can talk about character building, anything to do with forming the child, but specifically homeschooling is doing really well on YouTube and honestly just on social media in general. But you might see this and be like, okay, I'm just going to talk on homeschooling in general. I really talk a lot about this in another video I'll link up here and down below, but it's important to have a novel perspective to something that's been done over and over. So you can do like curriculum unboxings or how to homeschool, but it's not going to set you up as an authority and it won't make you the most amount of money because you need to be very convicted in what you talk about in order to make your content episodic and keep people coming back for more. So really niching down to a style of homeschooling like Charlotte Mason has a huge demand and a very low supply of videos can help you go viral really fast if you do Charlotte Mason like I do. Another one is like homeschooling neurodivergent kids or kids with autism. That's a whole niche in of itself or a sub niche. Another example would be unschooling. If you do something like that, there's a huge demand. So there's homeschooling is more of like, I guess it's a niche, but it's more of like a category. And then the way you homeschool or the methods that you use can be broken out to make you unique and stand out in this niche. So a quick caveat to all of these before I go into the rest of the, I think 8 more viral niches for moms is you always have to ask yourself, like, how can I make money from my niche? So the thing that I preach on this channel, if you are new, is to sell your own products. So like I said, I have a lot of kids. We have a growing, larger family, and I don't want to be the career mom boss that I may look on YouTube. 95 probably % of my weeks and days are spent literally homeschooling my kids, nursing babies, cleaning the sink, or doing the laundry. Like I'm a regular mom. For 3 hours a week, I transform into this YouTube guru, right? And so that's like what is best for me because I can make the most amount of money by selling my own products. So with all of the niches that I outline, not only are they going viral, but you have the potential to become an authority on these niches and sell digital products in the form of coaching and courses, which is kind of the combination that we do, so that you can earn from every single video. You don't have to go viral. You don't have to post a ton of videos and you don't have to rely on sponsors because that's like a literal second job because mothering your children is definitely the first job that you have. So creating more semi-passive income streams has worked best for scaling my business and allowing me not to have to be a workaholic YouTube mom like I was on my main channel, which I reference a lot. So I have a whole masterclass that talks about how we're able to grow the 7-figure business on my channel here by selling our own products. And I'll link that down below. But I don't want you guys to think that it's just you go viral in these niches and you make a ton of money through AdSense. Like you won't make very much, trust me. Not enough to like retire a spouse or replace an income. You have to do something more. And I would hope that since this is a video for moms, it's not sponsors because I've done that. and it takes away the joy from being a mom, in my opinion. So that's number 2. On to number 3. This is mindset for moms. So traditionally, mindset, psychological, or whatever you want to call it, self-help videos, again, on YouTube specifically, just looking at the trends, it's a more male-dominated space. Even if there's females like Mel Robbins, most people don't have a large family, or they're not biblical. Not that all of these have to be biblical, but if you are a Christian wife and mother, that is a very underserved with a very high demand, I guess, caveat to the niche that you could add to it if that is aligned with you, obviously. But mindset videos in general, or creators, typically are giving advice for entrepreneurs. They're not giving advice for mothers. So a great example of this is our student. We have multiple students doing this, but Transformed Homemaker Society. She's incredible on YouTube. She teaches moms specifically biblical principles to help them remain positive, to help them focus on things that God has placed within their life. And so she went viral when she started doing that because it's an underserved sub-niche, which sort of leads me into the 4th one. So this is more lifestyles. If you've watched any of my videos, you know I hate the word lifestyle niche because it's not real. I don't believe in like making your own niche. Again, if you sort people's videos, anyone that says this, from their most popular videos to their least popular, they got all their subscribers from one niche, and now they're able to talk about whatever they want, right? So typically you want to stick initially, at least for the first 6 months to a year, to one core niche so that people watch all of your videos and they don't just watch one and then the rest of them don't apply to them. You want a snowball effect where you're growing like wildfire because all of your videos apply. And so for the 4th niche for mothers, it's cooking and lifestyle, but it's in the way that it's done. So let me give you examples because it's going to be confusing if I try to explain it. So a great example of this is our student Lisa. Actually, there's 2 of them. They're sisters. Well, we have 3 of them actually as our students. Lisa from Farmhouse on Boone. We also have Laura from Our Oily House. And we also have helped her other sister. I think her YouTube channel is Our Sunny Days. I don't know. I'll put it on the screen here. But they all do a very similar style of content that is conducive to growing families and to just being a very busy mom. I talked about this in my last video. It's also what Transformed Homemaker Society does. A lot of our students adopt this content method because you can, in essence, become your own niche, but typically it's centered around a niche. All right. So for example, Farmhouse on Boone. So she films her life week to week and she gets little clips of her life. So she is a really good cook. She cooks with whole food ingredients. She's pretty holistic. She's lived on a farm. She's building a farm for herself. She's ranked like all over the internet for her blog and her YouTube channel for sourdough bread recipes. So a lot of her content is cooking, but the voiceover on top of the cooking scenes of her videos are about mothers. It could be about mindset, be about minimalism for moms, home organization, how to ferment foods. Like she talks on a variety of topics, but the core essence of her channel is cooking and baking with whole food ingredients. So I would say that that is like the biggest aspect of her niche. Now, her sister Laura also does the same thing. So she gets shots of her life all throughout the week. She puts a voiceover like done into a microphone like this, probably filmed at night because they all have huge families with a lot of kids. And they pump out videos like this week after week. But Laura's more about like her channel's about essential oils, non-toxic living, but she's still cooking in a lot of her videos, beautifying her home. It's homemaking, right? And her sister does that more with like decorating. So if you do a video like this, it's easy to film if you like to shoot aesthetic shots, which I did for years. And to me, like I said in the last video, I'd rather bang out like a bunch of talking head videos than have to be camera ready every week because I either look like this or I look like a bridge troll. So it's just hard for me to sustain that type of aesthetic content and keep my house up. I don't know. That's obviously a me problem, but it works for them. And it's almost a really wise system because they can get their content out, but not have to talk to a camera and have their kids go in other places in order to do that. So there's pros and cons to both, but I would say that this is sort of a niche. It's more of like cooking lifestyle and B-roll aesthetic, but it leans mostly towards cooking because that's what they're doing in their videos. So the 5th thing that's popping off for moms is fashion and beauty, which you're like, okay, that's oversaturated, but it's for women over 40 or women over 50. Now you're a mom, even if you're 50, 60, 70, right? right? And so you can basically slap anything with an age on it on YouTube. And I've seen this as like a repeatable pattern. And I've noticed that if you put an older age on your videos, like mindset for people over 40, not that that's a good video title, right? Or productivity hacks for, anything over your certain age, you basically have the ability to reach a demographic as a mother or a woman that is really underserved. So a great example of this is our student, Angela Braniff. She's a former student, but she completely switched niches. I talked about why, like 6 signs you should switch niches in the last video, but she went from homeschooling and homemaking and motherhood to literally blowing up with a completely different niche on the same giant channel, which is very impressive because it's hard to retrain algorithms if you already have an existing audience for something else. But she's doing fashion and beauty for over 40. And so that aligns with her values. I think she also she has 8 kids and she homeschools. She's probably more like me. She doesn't want to have to involve her family at all. And she wants to bang out her videos, get them done, and make a lot of money in return in a really condensed time period. And so she can do that through affiliate linking, selling courses, and different things. She also has a course on homeschooling, which we helped her with on a different channel. But basically, it's putting an age after your niche, as long as there's demand, and obviously as long as it works. So the 6th popping niche for mothers is basically postpartum weight loss. So this is something, fitness people on the internet are a dime a dozen. It's like, I think it's one of the most oversaturated categories is fitness in general, or weight loss. So you have to sub-niche yourself somewhat to attach yourself, stick yourself to something that's popping off. So for Rebecca Matsnick, another one of the people we've helped, she did this for postpartum moms. So she has 3 little kids. She's lost weight every single time. We also have another student, Kathleen from Lil Piece of Heart on YouTube and Instagram. And they both do postpartum weight loss, but in completely different ways. So Kathleen talks about mindset around eating, and Rebecca Matsnick shows like practical lifestyle ways to do it with kids around. So that's a great example because they both do postpartum and there's room for everybody. It's not oversaturated. It's just the way that you teach in your specific system, which we've talked about in other videos, that makes people want to choose one person over another, and you can serve different people according to how you help them. The 7th niche that is absolutely blowing up, I kind of already mentioned it, is biblical-based budgeting. So another girl is Meryl DeMilo. So Meryl isn't a mom yet, but you can do this if you're a mom or not. Biblical anything is very underserved because traditionally, like I said, people haven't, for whatever terrible reason, because I am Christian, so this is a sad thing for me, but people traditionally on YouTube didn't talk so much about their faith. It was almost like a separate thing. They didn't attach their faith to homeschooling or homesteading. Now it's like you can put your Christian faith with anything and you attract those types of people. It's amazing. You see people going viral talking about God-led businesses, and I hope obviously people aren't using that to go viral. That's not the reason you do it at all, but there is totally a different method if you're trying to follow God and like the Bible when it comes to budgeting. And so Meryl has shifted her niche to really serve people that want to get out of debt. She's done this amazingly well. You don't have to involve your family. There's a lot of pros to this. And if you are interested in budgeting the biblical way, I guess, what God says, more of like a Dave Ramsey approach, but in your own style, there's totally a demand. The 8th one is holistic health for moms. So, obviously since COVID, now this is all very triggering to half the population here in America, but since COVID, people just don't trust the medical system. I'm one of those people, all right? I don't know who to trust anymore. It's horrible. And so if you come out talking about like alternatives to Tylenol or alternatives to, dare I say, vaccines, right? You're going to get a lot of people talking about you. You're going to get the people that want to hop on your bus and the people that want to off you. So it's very, very polarizing, which I love as like a marketer because it's just very easy to get a lot of views that way. That's not why you should do it. But if you have a really strong stance on holistic alternatives to medication or wellness, then definitely jump on this train because it is absolutely going viral on Instagram and especially YouTube. So number 9 is decluttering and cleaning. So cleaning moms have been around the internet since I was a mommy YouTuber back in 2016 and 17. That's when they really popped off. I tried to do it and then realized I'm just not as tidy as the next mom, so it's not my vibe. This was a long time ago, obviously. If you are like obsessed with organization and cleaning, then it is very easy to film yourself cleaning and make money from it. Would it be something that I would encourage you to do? Only if you can be an authority. If you simply just film yourself cleaning and get paid with AdSense and sponsors, I've coached like hundreds of cleaning channels and almost all of them burn out or switch niches as moms because, again, the thing that we talk about in all my videos, if you trade your time for views, it's really hard to scale that business model. And so you want to sell your own products. So if you can organize but be an authority and sell like an online course or coaching program, similar to like Dawn, the Minimal Mom, like we mentioned, she has like a membership where people pay her to learn more from her. That is way better than needing to, get more views to get higher sponsorship checks. So examples of this are our students, Simply Alexandra. So she decorates and cleans her house. She's been doing this a long time like me. And also Michelle O'Malley. So they are proving that this still works if you make it feel fresh. They do things like extreme declutters, what I'm letting go of this week, how I stay sane with 4 kids and 1,000 Legos, right? So you just have to constantly innovate and create a novel perspective to this niche, which they have done. The last niche is frugal living, but again, you want to stick yourself to something that is underserved. So 2 of our students are doing this amazingly. The first one is Courtney Grows Food. So Courtney is in the gardening space. She created gardening videos forever and could not break like 1,000 views until she put out this video, okay? My 1,000 square foot garden grows a year's worth of food. Here's how. So that is a solution to people that are looking to be frugal, but also she's blending 2 parallel niches. I wouldn't even say they're parallel. It's more of like frugal living and gardening. They're pretty different. She blended the 2 and went viral immediately. And any topic she does, teaching people how to save money by gardening or feed their family with a small backyard garden, she goes viral and she sells her courses. So that's amazing. Another student is Jamaril. She teaches people basically how to meal prep for large families and budget with sort of like a frugal vibe. She has a lot of kids and she's been doing this since the dawn of time on the internet, but she's great too. So you can take frugal living and put that with any different sub niche, but it has to make sense. So people want proof that it's possible in a unique way that they've never tried in a niche that is underserved. So the point to all of this is there's a lot of niches that you can attach yourself to and go viral instantly, but it's not going to be just talking about whatever you want, not in like an oversaturated category, right? You want to pick one of the niches, then ask yourself this question I wrote down, okay? What's my bold angle? What belief do I stand on that nobody else is saying? So that is your sticky sub niche. That is what makes people follow you. And that is how you stand out. So if you got value from this video, go ahead and subscribe, like this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.